Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on missionchief.co.uk. So nothing's really changed since the last video. All I've done is I've built Cambridge Fire Station to support this top half of the region. So we'll jump straight in, and we have a bin fire. So we will send a pump straight to that. So our next call is burning grass in Cambridge, and again we'll just go on to Cambridge and we'll just send a rescue pump to that. So we have a patient transfer from Queen Elizabeth Hospital to Lister. So since I have no dedicated patient transfers, we'll just select the nearest emergency ambulance. So our next call is a garage fire. So we'll turn out Kempston retained and whole time crew to that. So it might not automatically, nope. So we'll just unselect Bedford and select Kempston's retained crew. So we have a tank spill in just east of Torrington. So we shall send rescue crew, the hazmat crew from Stopsley, a second rescue crew, decontamination unit from Bedford, and we'll also just send Toddington's rescue pump, as well as 2 officers. We'll send a traffic car and 2 neighbourhood response cars. So next we have a spinal injury in Hatfield. So we shall send 2 ambulances to that one. And we have the 50% possibility of having HEMS as well, which is the air ambulance. So our next call is a plane crash in Potton. So what we shall do is we will call Cambridge's rescue vehicle, since Kempston won't be available. We will also call a water carrier from Kempston, and 4 fire engines. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're coming from Potton, Sandy, Biggleswade and Shefford. We're also going to need an officer to attend, so we'll select an officer. And there's 50% hazmat, which if needs be we'll send in a second. We also need 3 ambulances, so we shall send 3 ambulances to that. Our next call is a bale of straw on fire, so we'll just send a small 4x4 unit from Stevenage to that call. Next up is a garage fire on a farm by the looks of it. So we shall send 2 pumps. We will try and send Wheathampstead and Hatfield to that call. So our next call here is a traumatic limb amputation in a business park by the looks of it. And again, that has a 50% chance of HEMS, so we may have to call on it in a minute. So we'll send 2 ambulances to that call. So I learnt from the previous video that ambulances need to be my next big investment with credits, to the point where we ran out last episode. So once I get a large enough sum of credits, we will be expanding quite a lot. So next cause, we have a noise complaint. So we will let Hertfordshire Constabulary attend that, just a normal neighbourhood response team. Now I'm just going to turn the vehicle names off just so it's better to see. So we have a fallen person in Watford. So as I thought, Royal Cruise needs HEMS, so which one is it? It would be Dunstable, so we'll select Magpass and we'll get them to respond. They are 16 minutes away. So next up we have Burning Grass, which says it's in Cambridgeshire, however Royston is the closest unit, and since it is close to a solar farm, I will mobilise both pumps. So next call here is a tree on the road in Cambridge. So we will just send their rescue pump to that again. So we have another tanker spill. This one is in Hertfordshire. So we will send Hertfordshire's rescue unit, their DPU, 2 more pumps, and a officer, second officer as well. And we are going to need a second hazmat and rescue, so I am just going to send over Stopsley when they're done with the original call. And again, we'll send a traffic unit and 2 Hertfordshire neighbourhood response teams to that. So we have a road accident near to the tanker spill. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get 2 crews that are going to that call, plus an ambulance to respond to this. And then I will set them up to respond to the tanker call. Once they are done with the road accident. So we have a HGV that's lost its load. So again, we will send some units once they've done with the tanker spill to this. So I will send Toddington's 4x4 and also their rescue pump and one of the neighbourhood response teams to that call. So next up we have a HGV fire near to Sawbridge. So we will see if there's a 10% chance of the water carrier being requested. So we'll send Bishop Stortford, Hertfordshire and Sawbridge. And we will also send a officer as well, so we'll call Sawbridge. And we also need another traffic unit to go to that. And we'll see if it requires a water carrier in a second. So we have another bale of straw on fire in Stevenage. We will again send the 4x4 unit to that. So we have a industrial fire in Bedford. So we will send a pump in Alp and 2 other crews as well, which will be coming from Woburn and Anfield. With it being a fire alarm system, I won't send everything all in one go. I'll just make sure that it is a actual fire, not the false alarm. So we have a fire in an office building. So just for a second, I'm going to slow the calls down, as this is a very heavy unit-based call. I'm just going to also see if anyone in our alliance is able to help. So we'll just check on how some of our earlier calls are doing. So the garage fire is being dealt with quite fine. The tanker spill again, they've not got many more things to come. The aircraft crash does require a hazmat unit, so I will get Bedford to respond with their MDD after they're done with the tanker call. Now HEMS unit should be on its way. So we have a ambulance waiting to transport. So it needs a trauma centre, so we will send it to we'll send that to Lister, as I want to try and keep Bedford free with it having more beds at the moment. So once the ALP arrives at the school, we'll see if it's a false alarm or not. We also have Watford awaiting a hospital. We'll just send that to Watford General. So some of the issues with calls is you would not get an industrial fire in the middle of a residential area. It's not very often. It's more a call kind of to hear an industrial estate, which would make more sense. However, the game uses a code which just randomly selects an address within a certain radius of a station and just generates a call from that. So as you can see, the industrial fire is real. So we need 6 pumps and 2 officers plus a hazmat to out. So we will get the second MDD coming along with Bedford's pump. So we already have 1, 2, 3 pumps running to this call, so we're going to need another 3. So looking at what we have Anfield's 4x4 unit, which we'll have to send. Same with Biggleswade's 4x4, and we will also bring Luton up from down south. As well as that, we'll bring a officer from Kempston, and also a officer. We'll send the second officer from Kempston as well. And we have Biggleswade waiting for a transport request, and I will send this one to Bedford. So what I'm going to do is I will get Kempston, with the garage fire, to mobilise to the office fire once they're done. So Kempston are now en route to that office fire. So let's check on the HGV fire we have here. So it doesn't require the water carrier, which is quite handy. So the 2 pumps that are on their way plus the officer should clear this call fairly quickly. Same with the road accident hit. They are just waiting on the patient to be treated. So there is an alliance call over in, it looks like, Hampshire. Yep. So that's a bit too far for me to respond to. So what I'm going to do with this office fire is I'm just going to start sending units to it from those that are also at following incidents. But what I will be doing is I will be calling the Multi-Star in from Cambridgeshire and Bedfordshire's second out. And we will also get Bedford's ALP as well to respond. As well as that, we'll call on Hertfordshire. We'll get some police to go down and close the roads off. 2 ambulances. The operational support unit from Bedford. The incident command, a water carrier. And then we'll also go through, we'll select the 2 officers at the industrial call. The 2 pumps that are there as well. Sandy rescue pump, Potton's rescue pump, Shefford's rescue pump, Biggleswade rescue pump, Kempston's water carrier, the deputy chief officer, and we will also send Luton as they're on their way, and we'll also send Cambridge rescue pump as well to the call. So hopefully we should be able to clear these fairly quickly. Hopefully within 10 to 15 minutes, so this video isn't that long. So we have a fallen person in St Albans, so we'll send Hemel Hempstead's emergency ambulance. So in the meantime, I am going to speed up the calls again, in the hope that we get a few calls that don't require many resources, and mostly being police and ambulance. So we do have a patient transfer again. So we'll just send Hertford's second ambulance to that. As you can see, the tanker spill should be completed fairly soon, 3 minutes. No. So we have a cardiac arrest in Hertford. So this is a 2-crew response. So we'll send Hertford and Stevenage. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to call back Hertford's unit which is going to the patient transfer, as that isn't a vital call. And we will set up who can we send here? So we'll send Welland's ambulance, which is just on the first one. So we have an accident involving a bus in Leighton Buzzard, between Toddington and Leighton Buzzard. So we'll send Dunstable, Leighton Buzzard, and then we'll also get the rescue crew to respond to that, plus a traffic car and a normal traffic police unit. We have 10 patients, so we will send about 6 ambulances, let's say. Let's make it 8. So we have a bulk rubbish fire in Hemel Hempstead, so we'll send their second pump out to that. We have a caravan fire just outside of Bishop Stortford, so we'll get 2 pumps going to that as well. So Buntingford and Bishop Stortford's retain crew. We have a nosebleed in Anfield. So we have no ambulances at the moment, so we'll just send a RV to that, as it's not a life-threatening call, so to say. And we will get one of Anfield's ambulances to respond after it's been to the bus accident. So we have a kitchen fire in Baldock, well, just north of Baldock. So we'll send 2 pumps out to that. So we have a transport request from Hertford, and they have a general surgeon, and the nearest hospital with that is Lister. However, I will just send it to the Princess Alexandra, as I have only recently built the hospital, and it is the closest. So we have a injured person on a power line, which is very close to an actual power line, so that one is very typical. So we will call for that a rope rescue team from Watford. Watford's out, and Wintergarden and Hatfield fire engines, and a ambulance. So the helimed is ready to take off. The nearest hospital with a helipad is Milton Keynes, so we will send it to there. So we have a trailer on fire in Cambridge, and nothing able to go to it at the moment, so I will follow it up with their rescue pump. We have a case of domestic violence in the middle of the woodlands by the looks of it. So we will send 2 nearest units with the call being what it is, and an ambulance to deal with the patient. We have a fireplace fire in Luton. We have no units in Luton available at the moment, so what I'll do is send Hertfordshire over and set up Bedford to, not Bedford, who can I send? I might send all 3 pumps from Hertfordshire to deal with the call. So we have a traumatic limb amputation. So we'll send Dunstable to that. Very close to where the other one was a minute ago. We have another person on a high voltage mast. So all I'm going to do is just send the units that are responding to the first one to this one as well. And we now have a trench rescue in St Albans. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the calls there, end this video, and then in the next video we will start again with all the calls cleared, and we'll start straight back with the trench rescue. So if you've enjoyed the video, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we should have a few more videos coming soon, which I hope you all enjoy. So with that, take care guys, stay safe.